Come on, guys, come on, let's go.
go.
Yeah, we make us win.
He looks like
Guys, stop. We're not fighting today. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the OG Talks by APWIG, and as you see, we're having a lot of founder fun today. Today is all about collaboration or over competition, because somewhere between Instagram killing organic vibes and Gen Z cancelling brands, we've realized that if you can't compete, invite them in for a pop-up. If you can't win over them, make it a win-win situation. Is collaboration just a strategy, or does it really move a business needle? Does it really help with the numbers? Are there different kinds of collaborations? When you do a collaboration, do you usually intend to go in with a business number? Are you intending to go in with a marketing angle? How are you guys approaching it?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it has to be good for business in some way. Otherwise, there's no point in collaborating. But I think it also depends on the kind of brand you are. I think if your community, your people like seeing you, doing something fun with somebody they also engage with, I think that's where the marriage happens well. So I think it has to be both business and brand building, a little bit of both.
I think understanding your customer first, because I think, for example, in a brand like 145, we are obviously a lot more bar driven and have this global street food vibe that we go for. One thing that we had with a lot of people coming in is like, listen, I want some really great coffee. We felt that, it's going to be really difficult for us to extend ourselves because, as Yavi will know and as all of us know, coffee is something which is very complicated. People are very, very picky about it. And so when we went in with our association with Boca, it was really actually catering to consumer demand because people were asking for it again and again and again. And we weren't confident about being able to deliver the product. So what ended up happening was it ended up developing into a very, very smooth win-win situation because people wanted it, the demand was there, and now, it just works very well. So I think it starts from understanding your consumer and can develop into a win-win situation where I think that it really does help actually move the needle with business as well because you're attracting crowds from both brands then that are sort of coming in.
Yeah.
So I agree. It does move the needle for sure. You get the visibility, you get the eyeballs. But also sometimes I feel the costs outweigh the actual results. So it's very smart. I mean, you have to be very smart. It needs to amplify your current brand and then I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
For us, it's been more about curiosity. We are fairly, decently a small brand who only have an online presence as of now. And I think so when you're small, you have more freedom to explore things, to delve into the things that you have not done before. Because we hail from a legacy business and then we started PistaBarfi as a separate brand to our legacy business. We were young, we had no pressure, and me and my brother, the co-founder, decided that, the ideal intention first is to make your brand stand out from the existing players. Then you work with a sense of curiosity as to if there are any collaboration opportunities working it, if there are any collaboration opportunities coming in, then how do you have fun and how do you have a good brand placement? So for us, it's always been about brand positioning and brand building exercise initially, and then let's see how what the results are and how it turns out basically for us.
Interesting. How does it play out for you, Yavi?
At first, it was kind of a survival mechanism. I think Nandan was so small and the idea was just I want to do something cool. How can I put word out for my brand? And so I think the first big collaboration I did was actually with Yash's sister during COVID. We did a little affogato kit. She does great gelato under Nova Gelato. And so that was the first time just purely because we needed sales during COVID and how can we get our product out there. And it did so well from a brand perspective and a numbers perspective. And it was more so, obviously it's about building the brand and driving revenue, but also being able to leverage someone else's skill set and be like, look, you're really good at this, I'm really good at this. How can we bring it together and then do something really great for our customers? And that's how it kind of took off.
I actually agree with her, so like high five on that because like I have a point to make over here is that when you are a small brand, you are also trying to penetrate into new markets and new customer bases. How do you best will do it? By making sure that you're not heavy on your advertising spend and who you can join hands with so that you can get access to that customer and the opposite brand can get access to our customer base.
Yeah.
So I think so, yes, like surviving mechanism initially works
To
out
start
well.
with.
Brand building is something which I think so works out well. And then later the business part basically follows later after that.
So Rahuul, you do a lot of collabs in terms of content.
Ours are not very business focused collabs.
Yeah.
Ours are more like creator focused collabs. Some of the times we see absolutely no like movement on our business from the collaborations that we do.
That's very honest.
But yeah, I mean, but we just enjoy doing collaborations with people on our vibe, people who are the same creative energy as ours. And I mean, luckily for us, God has been kind where we've been getting a lot of big brands now to want to collab with us. But now we are trying to stay away from that because we don't want to dilute, the craziness of the Croffle guys.
Right.
Because sometimes what happens is other brands come in with their own kind of mandates. And they're like, oh, we want you to be kosher, and we want you to be we don't want you to abuse, and we don't want you to like touch each other on camera. so then we're like, no, sorry, we have to touch each other. We have to abuse. So ours is a more creator focused collaborations, and I mean, it's just to have fun actually.
Yeah.
I think it's about fun. Like I think you need to have fun in a collab, otherwise there's no point.
Yeah. I think one very important thing that you brought out is that when you're doing a collab or strategically associating with someone, the target audience becomes the key play. A collaboration that really hit the nail when it came to drawing new audiences, pulling in new customers through a collaboration.
We had a restaurant in Colaba called Bombay Vintage,
Yes.
right? And that restaurant, the idea was to promote cuisines of the cultures that built Bombay. So you have your Kolis, you have Parsis, you have East Indians, you have Gujaratis, Boris, and food. We played with food from these communities. So now, how do we explain that? It's not a simple idea, right? How do you get this across to your consumer, which in Colaba was very similar to the Woodside consumer, which already existed now at that point for maybe 10, 12 years. So we started collaborating with chefs and people from these communities, and we did menus with people from these communities. It was real food. It was like somebody's mom, a Bori mom coming and doing it. There was a lot of real thought behind it, and it hit the nail on its head. People started understanding. It took us a little bit of a time. It took us about a year, and we did so many different collabs, menus within that year, that people started understanding what the brand was about, and then COVID hit.
Yeah, you mentioned you did around 6 in a year.
In a year and a half, about 6 different collabs.
That's basically like 40 days of a cuisine.
Yeah, but we were doing tight, quick, short,
Right.
to the point menus. It was not an elaborate, 12 items, different things. It was just to highlight, say, a couple of dishes that were not prevalently available, say something from a Parsi household that you wouldn't get at somebody's Navjot or some such.
Yeah. Oh,
So interestingly enough, one of our recent collabs actually led to the development of a new business. I was pretty surprised because as a chef, his name is Delzad Awari, Chef Dels, which I think a few of you guys will be familiar with. And he's obviously a super talented chef, really creative guy. And I think he was really trying to find an area to sort of localize his creativity, because I feel like he's an amazing guy, but he was a bit all over the place in terms of he was doing collaborations everywhere, and it's tiring, right? It's difficult.
Yeah.
You're meeting different founders, different owners, every brand has different SOPs, etc. So we did a couple of these collabs with him in Bandra, right, where he sort of did a kitchen takeover. Simple, clean, right? has a lot of his audience in Bandra and people coming in for a drink at 145. Listen, you got this entire special menu with Dells. Loved it, loved the interaction with him. Did it once, did it twice, did it thrice. Every time we did it was a super success. So I sat down with him one day. I said, listen, how many more collaborations are we going to do together? Because I said, I think there's something bigger in this for you and for me both. And so I was like, let's try and develop a brand around it where you're the face. I said, I'm not the face. You're the brand face. You're the man behind it. But I said that I think we can really help you sort of accelerate what you're aiming to do. And the brand that we've just created now, which is a burger brand called Smackin' Burgers. It's just a month old, of course. We've just launched. But the market feedback's been great and it's been super successful. And it's all stemmed from that collaboration. If we hadn't sort of done that, if that conversation hadn't been taken forward, this would have not happened.
Right.
Because we sort of tested it out with our market base as well, worked wonders, it was a win-win for both of us.
Yeah.
And then the conceptualization of the brand just followed through.
Wow.
So I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things where I feel collaborations more often than not really help you and they work in a positive way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're either learning something or you're gaining something or you're understanding something. And then it sometimes can create something even bigger, which then becomes quite fruitful.
Right. There was one collaboration that you did with the seafood boiler and the...
So this was actually crazy. I didn't think it would become that big. And we did it the first time. The product was great. Feedback was great. We instantly sold out, but it was so funny. Janine put up a video the following week just about the experience. And within 2 days, people were inquiring for the next possible collaboration.
Yeah, and months later, we still get requests.
I think she's getting almost 1 million views on just one.
It's crazy. So it's a seafood boiler in a gen-dominated area. So sometimes you don't know your target audience.
People are selling seafood without onion and garlic. People are actually asking us now, are we a seafood joint?
Yes.
It's crazy.
I have a question for you. So with a collaboration like Puma, do you think there's an audience overlap or do you think it's a pure leveraging a larger global brand opportunity? What was your thought process behind it?
Firstly, not in my wildest dreams that I would imagine that a Puma India would want to collaborate with a local mithai brand which is not even established but which is just like getting hold on the market acceptability just in general. We always take is that what has worked out for us is because you create a very separate brand language of your brand, then what happens is that similar kind of brands with the same kind of brand language actually want to connect with you. And the good part about us has been that once you make sure that your brand story, brand language and brand stands out in terms of sheer branding, then there are opportunities coming your way rather than you hunting and going out for opportunities, because that is when you know that A, it is really standing out, and B, you can like grow organically without spending a penny. Whatever collaborations that we have done, like there has been like no external financial push that I had to do on my end. Puma was coming out with a range of their shoes, a collection, Palmero, which is a little rustic in their aesthetics and which is catering to Gen Z. And we also as trying to kind of modernize mithai in the interesting formats that we are getting in. And whenever we started with PistaBarfi, we started with one aim that we wanted to make mithai cool. Mithai has not been given enough justice to make it like cool. And this opportunity was such that if we collaborate with a cool brand like Puma, then that will give us a leverage.
Yavi, you did a collaboration with Mami Tirami,
Yeah.
so we saw a massive line outside and then for hours. Why is that limited edition? Why can't that be an ongoing thing?
I think the fun of it is having a limited edition, no? Like we've done collaborations which have lasted 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. But that is a longer term and that works in those formats, whether it's, you know, us with Mag Street or the White Crow Books and Coffee, which is our first, you know, retail format. But with Mami, it was just, we just want to have fun for one day. We want to offer a product. We wanted to bring Enrico in. He had never done a pop-up before. He was just doing delivery formats. But what really worked is that our visions really aligned. And we wanted to bring it to South Bombay, but we wanted to do it just for a day because his product wouldn't have lasted longer. He didn't have the logistics at that point to do it for a longer period of time, and neither did we. We didn't have the refrigerator space either. But we wanted to do something really fun, and that's what we did. But the reason it went really viral was not because of the queue outside, but it was how we handled it, which is crazy. Like most of the videos that went really viral was like, I had to stand in a line for 2 hours, but it was the best queue I've ever stood in, because we organized music, we had water, samplers going out. So we made the customer experience really good, and then Enrico also had the same vision. So the second they entered, he was having fun, he was talking to people. And that's why it really worked, and that's why it went viral. Otherwise, it would have been people just bitching about standing in a queue for 2 hours.
That's right, that's right. I think speaking of fun collabs, I think Rahuul, you guys do the most insanely fun collaborations. Why is that not translating into your product yet? Are you being consciously, distanced from bringing it in there?
Kind of. I mean, the thing is that with product, we have some collaborations that we've done now with NTC for Valentine's Day, and we've had like a chocolate thing that we do limited edition stuff for products. But I mean, on Instagram, we are creators first in a way. So we like to do collabs which way more fun. So we did one with Inde Wild, and you would think like, how is Inde Wild and Croffle guys, like what relation is there? But I mean, I think it's something that you said at the start of the show. It's young girls, right?
I'm so excited for the Salma collab now.
What about that? It's
18 and above.
18 and above women.
Yes.
Yeah, women who like, I think the same kind of women who like, say, Veer and Amay, my partners, are the same kind of women who use, like, say, the Inde Wild,
the
lip
gloss
and like all of those kind of things. So we're like, oh wow, there's like a great intersection. We're actually not that smart. Like people might think we've done all these things and all of that, but they're all on like some sort of like boys sitting and being like, chal, let's do this, it might be fun. So there's, and after that, you can break it down and be like, oh, and we usually do that, because after it works, we're like, oh shit, if someone asks us why this worked, so we'd be like, oh, we found a great intersection of TG and, we attacked that, but it was more about us just having fun, and that just translated into, something that worked out for us.
The marketer in me right now, I can only think of one brand, and you have to reach out to Lizu's. You have to do something with her. Lizu's.
Who's that?
Check out this brand. It's
it's a bakery in Bangalore.
No. Lizu's is female adult toys.
Oh, lovely. See, that's see.
Yeah. And their packaging is insane.
How is it related to Croffle?
Because you are teenage girls.
Just the sound of that got me excited.
Don't misunderstand your audience. The teenage girls are just out there. The older women are watching everything.
We do get that a lot.
Yeah.
When I'm at Otters Club, I have some of my mother-in-law's friends.
Oh wow, that age group is
वो वीडियो देखा आंटी कौन सा वीडियो देखा आप मुझे भी बोलो
definitely connecting to Lizu's after
And so Mohit is the one who's having most fun doing all the collaborations.
So a lot of things have worked out in collaborations, right? But I'm sure there have been moments and collabs that have not worked out. Without giving names, you can talk about experiences. Those are great learning lessons for all of us.
So I think interestingly, we've done a couple of these really cool international takeovers from bartenders in Japan. So we're coming up with a new Japanese restaurant. And so I've been spending a lot of time in Japan. I was in Tokyo with my wife, and both of us were there, and we were sort of at a bar, and so ended up speaking to one of the guys who owned the bar. He was making some incredible drinks and all, pitched this crazy idea to him that, listen, how do you feel about coming to India and just doing like a bar takeover, and then I think he's like, give me some time to think about it. And we did one eventually. It ended up transpiring, and he came through, and it was a big hit. Then what happens is, we said, you know what, we're onto something over here. Let's try and take this story forward. Tied up with another friend of his who's working at a very successful bar around the world. It's in the top 50. So I said, okay, fine, this sounds good. Only one problem. I haven't tried the product. How do I keep going back to Tokyo, right? So I'm like, concern is out here. I haven't tried the product. So I said, there's a risk factor involved out here. But I said, world's top 50. I said, we did a couple of Zoom calls. Things seem to be going the right way. I said, sounds good. Comes over here and I taste it. And it tanks hard in the tasting. And we pitched it out and it's like semi-sold out. And I am like, we just can't. Like, we just simply can't, because people are going to come in and they're not going to be happy. And I said, this is very tricky. And so eventually we did it in the format that we just sold very limited quantities of just like 2 or 3 drinks that I thought were good. But I was like, I'm going to have to basically incur this loss along with my sponsor for the event, because I said there's no way around it. Because technically it's not his fault. It's just the fact that I think I've over trusted maybe in the fact that he comes with this credit and rep. And I'm sure that it's great and those flavors work over there, but they just fell flat over here, you know? And I think that what happens with collabs as well is you really need to know the person's product as well very well. Otherwise what happens is that you can be put into a very tricky situation, you know? So if you talk about, you know, the collaboration that you did with Mami, I mean, you know the product inside out, you know it's a good product, you know it'll work, you know it goes so well with your customer as well. And yeah, I mean, the first Japanese takeover that we did was fantastic. The second one flopped. So I said, you know what, the lesson that I've learned out here is that I personally as a founder need to try the product, I need to advocate the product, and then I can sort of take the story forward. But yeah, there is risk attached, I guess, so.
Yeah,
You know what, I'd like to add to this. I agree with the whole international takeover aspect. See, we're from the industry. I'm a bar person as well. If I see Asia's top 50 bars, I'm excited. I would like to go and try. A lot of our customer base don't know who these bars are, have never heard of their brands. You're figuring out logistically, the pay, bringing them down. Like Ishaan said correctly, the flavors may not work here at all. So we have to be very careful, and yes, I believe that product is the most important thing, and that's what's going to drive the people, not a big name that someone might not have heard of.
Yeah, and from my experience, what I've realized is that local collaborations have actually been far more profitable and beneficial for both brands.
I mean, international collaborations also help with brand building, with bringing in an international set of eyes on the brand, which helps in the long run. Financially, you have to weigh it because it is expensive. But local collaborations are just fun to do. I mean, you know, we did one with Baba Sehgal out of
I love that.
It was so it just happened, you know. We didn't even know, like, hey, listen, we love singing to Baba Sehgal, listen to Baba Sehgal. Let's maybe do something with him for one of our beer and burger festivals. I think it was the 15th or 16th year of the festival, and he said okay. I mean, and it worked out great. He made a jingle. And we like, Baba Sehgal is back, you know. So we made a burger around him for the Beer and Burger Festival. It was great. But at the same time, we tried something with an international chef, and we did a secret supper, really cool menu, nose to tail, dining, very, very cutting edge stuff. Bombed, because people just don't associate brand Woodside in with maybe that kind of an experience. It's still a casual, comfort, cozy, you know, kind of an experience. So there are both sides to this.
I'm going to pivot a little bit because I see a lot of people on the table who are taking family legacy or have been in the industry or are like next gen to the industry. So, and this goes to everyone who's like not coming from there as well. But what I realized is that there was a generation of founders, which is our fathers and their fathers' generation, which was all about competition. It was all about like customer acquisition, my customers, his customers, very segmented. What caused this pivot or change amongst you guys, where it's like, okay, let's not compete, let's collaborate. It's a larger, you know, opportunity. And also for the guys who still work with their dads, how does that play out for you guys?
Yash. You go first, I'll go next.
So, firstly, I would say working with my dad, I think the real collaboration is working with him. I mean, that happens.
Nicely put. I like
Yeah, for sure.
That happens on the back end. He has a different way of working, but what I look forward to is a sort of discipline and work ethic. I like to say he brings discipline. Maybe I bring disruption. So, I mean, it evens out, right? And I wouldn't say back in the day it was only competition. I would say back in the day there was lack of choice versus now the competition is brutal. And I just feel, our industry is a small ecosystem. Why compete and exhaust yourselves when you can leverage each other and sort of come out on top? That's my thinking.
Good, very nicely put. I completely agree with that.
So I think that there is, first of all, a big enough market for everyone. Because the consumer today that's dining out, going out on everyday basis has increased like disproportionately from back in the day. What used to be a once in a while experience has become a daily occurrence. Even moving from like a joint family, and like there's so many independent couples now that stay just alone, right? They depend on either ordering in or eating out. So I feel like the amount of people that have started coming out to experience something even on weekdays, etc., has gone up a lot. And so I feel like it's more now just about joining hands together and sort of making sure that your product is the best version that it can be, because I feel like there's enough market share for everyone. So I think that competition, while it is very aggressive in today's day and age, there is enough business for everyone. So I think that's something that's drastically changed from back in the day. Now coming to working with my dad, obviously, because that's a whole different experience. For me, actually, has been a really good experience working with my dad, because I think that his beginnings have really helped me stay very rooted, because our story with Khyber is quite insane, is that it burned to the ground in 1985. So that was our only family restaurant, and it burned down completely in 1985.
I didn't know this.
So so basically for those 3 years, like sort of what he went through to sort of tie up with Parmeshwar Godrej, rebuild the restaurant, from ashes, literally. So if you come to Khyber, there are certain walls which we've preserved, which are completely like, you can see it's from the fire, they're untouched. It's like that brick wall is left exposed. So I think to start from there in 88, basically restart, the good work that you've done over the last 20 years, and you want to sort of restart and build on it. I think he did such an incredible job, right? And I think that he's always been very true to sort of focusing on product, keeping the roots very humble. I think it's really, really important, because, so grateful for, what I have and for what all of us have been able to achieve in this room. Because the thing is, I think it's really important to be humble and stick to your root and stick to your base and be like, listen, what I've managed to achieve is something which is good. I need to work on preserving it. That's another thing, because today in the entire avenue of expanding too fast, which is, no doubt it can be done, but it's tricky. And I think what happens is that I'm ready to always run, and he's encouraging me to jog slowly. And I think that it's a very, very important reminder, because also if you run too quickly, you can fall really flat on your face, and that can really sort of cause a ripple effect backwards. So I think he's been able to really, really do a great job of sort of teaching me a lot of strong life lessons. And then of course, extending of what Yash said about discipline, the way the fathers are built in terms of work discipline, work ethic, it's tremendous, their attention to detail, to product. So a lot of those habits, I think they've been able to sort of pass on to us. And I think that has such a positive influence on the final product that a customer will experience.
But I think so many collaborations, like the ones we're talking about right now, are customer facing. But like I see like my dad's generation, or even like the growers of Cody and stuff like that, everyone talks to one another, everyone in the industry talks to one another. So there's a lot of like collaboration that's not necessarily customer facing that happens on the back end. Like I don't think I could have grown Nandan Coffee if there wasn't at least 10 other coffee roasters I knew that I could pick up the phone and call and be like, listen, I'm stuck here, what do I do? Rizwan was the first person when I was starting Nandan. I used to call him maybe like, I think once a month and be like, listen, I'm stuck. Or like last week I needed an extra coffee machine. I was able to call the drink guys and be like, hey, listen, do you have one? And I'm not worried that they're going to come and take away my business, but it's all about being able to help one another.
So we just have a better platform to showcase our collaborations.
Yeah, but it's been happening for generations, and I think we're all...
I also think the interconnectivity, right, in today's day and age, like it's a lot easier. You make 2 phone calls and then you can sort of connect with a person, and I think everyone's quite open to helping each other, and like, because nobody can understand our pain except for the way we can understand our pain, you know,
yeah.
our pain points, our difficulties. So
Yeah, because when I talk to Pankil, I think you know everyone in the industry. Any name I take, like, hey,
I'm
my
very
friend,
old,
yes,
yeah.
of course, I know
I'm
this
very
Croffle.
old. I'm losing hair. I better know people.
We are not getting a sense of it.
Are you? I thought you were all of 18 right now. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But no, so how does this play out? Like, is there a good support system? Is there collaboration amongst the industry?
Yeah. So I actually feel, you know, even back in the day in our father, there was, you had to collaborate to survive. Like restaurateurs invested in each other, literally put money in each other's businesses. And I'm talking about senior restaurateurs in our industry right now. Back in the days, they were all partnered in some way or the other because you had to. Even today, having 2 or 3 people leading your team is the way forward for hospitality. Most brands are not formed by that one person. It is you're collaborating with partners to be able. I work with 2 co-founders. We built it together. So that's collaboration starts from the top, and then if you have to listen to your partner, right? Because they have a point of view as well. So that it starts at that point, and then it trickles down into your ecosystem automatically, I feel.
Your brand is collaborating with your own family business.
No, so like there is a difference in it. I'll answer this question in 2 parts.
Sure.
Firstly, I think so working from a family legacy, I think so there will always be differences in opinion because they have born and brought up in a very different manner, and it depends on how much in touch they are with the way business and social media and digitally business is working right now. I feel that space, that gap with my father, okay? So that's why Harshit and I, like the co-founder and I, both of us were like, listen, we'll do PistaBarfi. We will take inspiration from our legacy, but we will do our own thing. We'll create a separate brand because we wanted to have complete freedom.
Rahul, you come with a clean slate. How has that played out for you? Like,
I mean, it's
jo
actually
karna hai
never,
karo.
never a clean slate because as everyone's saying, collaboration happens on multiple levels. Collaborating with my founders every day, collaborating with my father, my brother, my wife.
Do any of your
my
founders come from the F&B background?
None of us come
None
from
of
the
your
family background. But we're always collaborating, I guess. I think, you know, even the support your family gives at home is a collaboration. I just got married and I changed my job. So there's a collaboration that me and my wife also do on a daily basis.
Very true.
My father collaborates with me till today, supports me. So I guess, yeah, it happens at multiple levels. And we're collaborating with our suppliers, people who, you know, believed in us when no one believed in us. We were just like a group of young boys with no F&B experience, wanting to go out there and create a product that no one had heard about. So at that point, it was just like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? But I mean, there were a lot of people who believed in us from the start and be like, go ahead, guys. Like, we'll give you a credit line, and you know that credit line matters a lot because you know, if you get that 30 days, at least you get 30 days to do business at that point.
Right.
So you know, everyone who believed in us from the start is a collaborator.
I actually,
on a random note, is anyone else freezing?
Yeah.
Freezing, I could see Yaki's goosebumps on here. Like she's dying.
but I actually have a question to add on to that. Very nicely put about the collaboration. But like you all are 5 or 6 partners.
Not 5 or 6. We're actually 4 partners.
4 partners.
Yeah.
So it becomes, how do you collaborate on that sense and come down to a decision which is good for business? I might,
It's
differences in opinion. And
the good thing is we're all friends, like all really close friends. So like 1 hour of the, like if we set a meeting where we have to discuss something, 1 hour of that meeting is just bakchodi.
of course.
And then 15 minutes is when we decide that, chalo, now let's make a decision. And then it's just very democratic, you know. It's if you have that trust that, you know, everyone wants the right thing for the business at the end of the day and not for themselves. I think that's the main thing that you have to figure out where, and I guess that's the key to collaboration, is that the internal thought is we want a win-win for both sides or the larger party. The larger party may be the business in itself, and that's how we come to, you know, decision making.
I think trust is like the main factor even when it comes to like other collaborations.
Right.
Like for Nandan, we like with a lot of our B2B partners that talk about serving Nandan coffee, we really just like send our product out into the world, and there's complete faith that the other person is going to do justice to your product and your brand. Especially in B2B, like the second the product is shipped out, we lose all control. And so even though it is kind of like a supplier-vendor relationship, we have to have a lot of trust in our customers that we're sending our coffee to, and there have been times where if we're a little bit iffy, we even say no and we let go of it. And like, it really comes down to being like, listen, I trust you. I trust that your values align with my values. We all have the same end goal, and then beyond that, I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah.
No, that's so important because just to extend on that, like you asked a question earlier about collaborations not working out, and the collaborations that didn't work out were based on trust not being there. It's so simple because that brand is asking us to do things and they are following up on things on a way that they don't trust us. And you know, when you follow up or when you constantly try to give your directive, it comes down to you not trusting.
My favorite thing about these tables is that where we start from and then the digging in that goes in is just insane what comes out eventually. And I wouldn't have even thought of it, but yeah, it's so simple, right? Like it's all collaborations are based on trust. That's the core basis of it. Okay, so having gone over all of this and everything is going beautifully with each and every one of you, let's talk about a dream collab that you want for your brand, and like let's collectively manifest it for each one of us today. Let's put it out there.
So I think we're actually doing something right now which in a lot of ways is a dream collab for us that has manifested and has come to light.
Wow.
And it's happening next week, very fortunately, and let's fingers crossed hope it goes well, is with Khyber. I think Khyber has always been sort of this legacy establishment, 65 years now. And
That's insane, man.
yeah, I mean, honestly, all
and
this.
still iconic.
No, but all this credit is to my father. Like everything of Khyber is to him. I'm just trying to, keep the pride of the brand growing and alive, and keep trying to do things to take it up and up and up. But the testament to product and everything, the way he and my grandfather have curated things has been sensational. And we have a Khyber in Dubai. Because I think like almost 50% of our audience, interesting enough, is tourists. Okay.
Yeah.
So I recently the UK Prime Minister had come into Khyber, and this photo of him and everything, and it sort of went a little viral, right? Because he was here for just a day or two, and then he came to Khyber. I get an email out of nowhere from the Patina in Maldives and Male, and they are like, listen. We've seen we've gone through a background of your brand, we've gone through, a lot of what you guys do, and we'll have to collaborate with you.
Wow.
And I was like, listen, yes, like where do I sign the papers? Like I'm in. But I feel like in a lot of ways for us, a dream collaboration, because I mean, super prestigious resort, a lot of Indians traveling to the Maldives as well, and also very fantastic global audience that you're catering to in a resort like Patina.
Right.
And sort of being able to get the chance to work with them, their team, their chefs, they're opening so many resorts around the world as well. So to have that partnership, I think is an absolute dream. I think I would have manifested, but I still don't think that would have been achievable. But I think it's exactly what you said, right? Sometimes you just manifest something, and a lot of it is luck, honestly, And I feel like in regards to this, I think it's luck, and I think it's also down to the legacy, right? It's been around for a while. It's not a new establishment, so it's the product is solid,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in the
Great.
first week of
Awesome.
March, so yeah, let's see.
Congratulations.
Hopefully it should be good.
Yes,
so.
yes. Tanay, what's your dream collab?
I think so. The best kind of collaborations are the ones which come to a surprise, just like he mentioned.
Yeah.
With the meal that you got.
Yeah.
Okay, it was very unexpected.
Yeah, it was.
It came to as a surprise for you, and this was something. It came from a direction which you were never focusing on.
Yeah.
Same thing with Puma. While you are on your goals or while you are on your journey, rather than manifesting collabs, let life surprise you.
Okay, that's
And
interesting.
because we have had the most unconventional collabs in that manner.
Yeah.
We've had collabs with Christian Louboutin, with Puma, with IKEA, with Indu ice cream. And these are the collabs that I never manifested or wished for. I think so for us, I'm just going off topic a little bit. We should be the best in the business that we're doing, and collabs and opportunities will come to us, and then let life surprise you.
Great, great.
So that is
You're
what
open
I
to
personally
receiving.
do. I'm open to receiving, man, because why do I limit myself to a...
I want to reach this level of like
Yeah, zen.
surrender. Yavi, do you have a dream collab?
I have a couple. We've done a lot of collaborations in like parallel industries, but I want to do a lot more within our own industry. So
Interesting.
yeah, I want to do some collaborations with other coffee roasters. And then I really want to collaborate actually with a lot of growers within our region. We've got a really strong network of some really amazing people, and we want to start working with that a little bit more. Larger growers, but also a lot of the smallhold farmers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've built such a strong brand. I often forget there's the whole back end to the business, which is, a massive, massive
But
one
it's
as
actually
well.
way more fun than the front end, I
Really?
think, yeah.
Interesting. I am also manifesting for you, but you can go ahead. Speak
I mean,
yours.
I love the fact that they mentioned that collaborations should come to you also. You are the best at what you do. I have a couple also, two on top of my head. One would be 11 Madison Park, because I just think what they're doing is just phenomenal. But also being at that peak, right? And pardon my French, but to have the cojones to go completely plant-based and still retain is just amazing. Another one would sort of be beyond the realm of reality. I would love to have a curated dinner by Chef Anthony Bourdain. If he could, he used to cook for the truth and for the stories.
Yeah.
If I could do that, it would be next level.
Okay, you'll put it out there. We'll work towards it.
I don't know, for
Yes.
us, I mean, I'm just keeping my
Keep them coming.
Are your DMs full of like people reaching out saying, wanna collab?
there are, I mean, God has been kind, and yeah, there are a lot of collaboration requests, and I think in the middle we kind of became just a collaboration page. So we forgot actually that we have to, sometimes we forget that we have to sell our product also. So now I think we're just focusing on that, but Samay Raina, if you're watching, please, some fun Bakchodi if you want.
Simple goals. I want to have a Guinness at Woodside in its official capacity. So I would love to have Guinness come in and collaborate when they're launching. So simple goals. I want to just want a chill glass of Guinness at Woodside.
I can see you in the corner of my eye to show strength.
Yeah. So that's
It'll happen.
For all of us. So just to end today's episode, we've learned not just about collaborations being on the gram, but the entire back end of it, what the core and crux of it looks like. And I really hope that this episode has brought a lot of value in terms of ideas, in terms of inspiration, in terms of lessons that you can implement. And yes, let's collectively manifest for all our panelists over here the collaborations they're looking for. And thank you everyone for watching.